Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider. Share and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
At Colonel Samuel Smith Park at the Humber College South Campus in Toronto, Canada. This is the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps. It's day 9 of competition, consolation matches for women and men today. I'm Peter Holden. Thank you very much for your company this morning. Joining me in commentary today, it's my great pleasure to have alongside from AFL Nova Scotia, one Patrick McNeil.
Thank you, Peter. We're looking forward to another day. We've seen a lot of football. We're looking forward to more great football and the final opportunity for these teams to show their stuff and try to go with a bang, so to speak, in this tournament.
Yes, it's the Colombia Jaguares versus the Canada Northern Lights. For Colombia, they finished at the bottom of Pool A. They'll be taking on the team that finished second in Pool A after losing the semi-final to the USA Freedom, the Canada Northern Lights. Let's take a look at our key players, and that is thanks to Payable Apps.
Yeah, like the hometown flavor for myself, Lacey Bellefontaine, who's learning the game, youngest player on Team Canada, so it's exciting to see her inserted in, get an international opportunity. And for Colombia, we will look at Camila Rubino, who has Canadian flavor, plays with the Montreal Saints, or Quebec Saints, plays in Montreal, so she knows a little bit about some of the Canadian players.
Let's check out our There Live keys to the game. There Live, of course, the exclusive broadcast partner of the AFL Transatlantic Cup.
Yeah, for Team Canada, talk about using the depth players. Some of the veteran players have been left off the roster. They want to get the rookies involved and also finish the tournament strong as they're looking to get a win. For Colombia, it's all about pressuring on ball for Team Canada. Switching the ball, practice using the whole field. Don't just move down and up, and move across the field as well. And also hit targets inside forward 50. See if you can get some offense going.
Umpire Di Filand is tossing the coin, and Canada have won the toss and we're kicking to the left of screen. Colombia will be kicking to the right of screen, which is the Visit Mississauga end of the ground. And of course, with hundreds of must-see experiences, plenty of gorgeous scenery, world-class eats and events, Mississauga is yours to explore at visitmississauga.ca. We might bring up the tournament standings for Vision Glass Toronto. GTA's exotic car experts, auto glass, convertible tops and sunroofs. They're making the insurance claim process easy. VisionGlassToronto.com.
So if you look at the North American group play, Team Canada and Team USA played in the final match with the same record. It ended up being Team USA, so Canada moves into this consolation game against Colombia, who played France in the 5th place game. They were victorious there, and the Colombians get an opportunity to play Canada. Quick in the schedule, Canada actually gets to play all 5 of the other countries, so that's special for those women out there today.
And that's the same on the other side, for we just had Great Britain and France, a comfortable win to Great Britain in the end. Great Britain and France both got to play, all 5 teams, after Great Britain were beaten by Ireland. That means we have a setup for the grand final. The women's grand final, they have an extra day's rest. They will be playing tomorrow, 11:45 a.m. Toronto time, 11:45 a.m. Sunday. That is for Ireland versus the USA, and that'll also be a similar matchup in the men's. We should say this is a double header in a way, because Colombia and Canada meeting in the women's, and Colombia and Canada will also meet again in the men's coming up at 1:30 p.m.
Yeah, and because they want to have the grand final day, have both grand finals. This is the first day as well that we're going to have mixed competition, because we both get women's matches and men's matches, starting with the 2 women's contests, and then, of course, as you said, we'll get a men's Canada-Colombia game. So a mixed day of action. I'm looking forward to it.
And I should mention today, for the consolation matches and the grand final being held tomorrow here at the ground at Humber College, they've also brought along the food truck to the ground at Colonel Samuel Smith Park. So if you are coming down here to Humber College, Colonel Samuel Smith Park, to watch some exciting football, it's free entry. Come on down. The taco truck is here.
The tacos are not free, but they do look delicious, Peter. I feel we'll be dabbling in them between games.
100%. I will be making use of that van. I think falafels there as well, and I think some iced tea, so plenty on offer if you want to come down and have a bite to eat and check out Aussie rules for the first time. And I should mention, it's not part of the AFL Transatlantic Cup and will not be streamed, but later today, after 3:30, there will be a USA men's versus Canada national team reserves game. That's their development squads. And also, I believe in the women, there'll be like an AFL AFL Ontario versus AFL Quebec, with a few ring-ins matches happening as well. So there'll be like 5 football games to be played. Again, those won't be streamed, but they'll be happening after about 3:30 if you come on down.
That's right, still lots of football. You've got lots of time to come down to the field to watch some more.
Patrick McNeil to get us underway for the first quarter.
And we are underway. It is Team Canada. They are moving right to left near TV screen. Head towards the Toronto end. Colombia's in the yellow with the blue shorts. They are heading towards the visitmississauga.ca end as Team Canada is on the attack to begin this contest. Of course, Canadians with that heartbreaking loss against Team USA in the semi. They are looking to rebound our Team Canada. Canadian attack is on here, and we get our first whistle of the game. Comes pretty quickly, just past the 20-second mark. It is going to be a free kick here for Haley Jones of Team Canada. Jones will boot it up the middle. Ball comes out towards the goal square, bouncing along the ground. Where's it going to land? Canadian hands battling for it. Here's an opportunity for goal. That is kicked, and that was Aaron Lockton, who's had a lot of the ball. That looked like it went just offline for a minor score.
So 1 behind Canada, no score for Colombia. And that was about 40 seconds into this first term for Payable Apps. Here's the kick out from fullback. Long and high ball. Trying to park herself underneath it. Benavidez got knocked away from her. Hurried little hand pass out. Valentina Rodriguez nearby. Trying to go in and chase after it. There is Tarachi for Colombia. She can't get the football out. Little soccer skills off the ground here at the moment for the Canadians. Going in there. That might be Caroline Leduc chasing after the football. Here's a hurried little hand pass out. Going backwards now. Managing to find Kleinbub. Now with a hurried little kick under pressure is Lainey Richardson towards the pocket. Ball manages to stay in. The Benavidez ends up going with a kick off the ground. That was an unusual attempt. Also in there, Epiceri for Colombia. Going backwards now, Haley Jones, who's played in the QAFLW this year in Australia. Her kick goes well wide, and it is out of bounds for a throw-in 10 metres around from the left-hand point post.
Yeah, ball will stay in the end. The Team Canada is attacking as the Canadians, of course, with that minor score ahead 1-0 on the Payable App scoreboard. Ball's up in the air. It's tapped forward by Team Canada. It's going to be Colombian possession, kicking at a treble. Ball will go along the left boundary here. Attack on for Canada as Caroline Leduc, the veteran, had it. Of course, we talked during the broadcast this week that she plays in both Quebec and Ontario. It's certainly a veteran of club football all around Canada. As ball being moved down the right boundary, that was a kick off. I believe that was Julia Patricio, and the ball will go for a minor score. That makes it 0-2-0. Canada leads 2-0 on the Payable App scoreboard.
As we wait for the ball to be brought back into play. The long kick is high in the air. Trying to grab it from behind there was Lainey Richardson, but the umpire plays it to the player in mark. If two players go up at the same time with hands on the football, the umpire will always play to the player in front. Well, they always should. Benavidez has it. Moves it towards the halfback flank position. Oh, intercepted. Running through the middle there, Erin Loughlin. Loughlin passes inside 50, trying to go towards the top of the goal square. Ball spilled out. Trying to put a hurried boot on the ball was Gaia out towards the pocket. Still being kept in here by the Canadians. Watching onwards is Lacey Bellefontaine from the Sydney Giants. Hand pass out. Being caught here, the umpire will pin holding the ball against the Colombians. Free kick Canada, and they're going to have a chance for a shot on goal. And by the look of it, I think it might be through Patricio. It will be on a tightish angle 40 metres out.
Yeah, she's got an opportunity to get the first major score. Looks like she's got a bit of an arm brace on. I guess the welts have been adding up for players just due to the sheer amount of football that has been played here this week. Kick goes towards goal square. That looks a little bit offline. That's another minor score for Canada. 0-3-0 is the score. Canada had 3-0 on the Payable App scoreboard.
Julie Patricio played ice hockey for Toronto Metropolitan University. As the score is 3 behinds to no score. As I always say, I went to a fight one time and a hockey game broke out. As a 50-metre penalty now. It's a 50-metre penalty from a kick-in. That means it goes all the way to the back of the centre square. So this is a big advantage here for Colombia if they can go down the guts and run the football. They were trying to put it to the advantage of Murillo, who couldn't run onto the football. It's out here at the halfback flank position, trying to dance around and may have been caught there. Caroline Leduc, she's been pinned for holding the football. Free kick for Colombia. This is looking positive for them. Colombia with the football at the half-forward flank position, Lake Ontario side of the ground. 1-2 steps, then put it on the right. Go towards the hot spot. Valentina Rodriguez waiting at the back of the pack. Original first hands were there with Minchin. Jones is caught holding the ball. And here's a chance for Colombia. 30 metres out from goal.
Yeah, we talked about the Colombian pressure and the key to the game and perhaps a rush to play on. And the holding the ball goes right back. And now it's going to be Team Canada getting the free kick. And again, a good alertness, good game awareness there by the Canadian player. That was Haley Jones, saying a lot of her name already. Plays right on this field with the Toronto Sun Central Blues. She'll send the kick along the right side. Canada now on the march up the right boundary, right on that Lake Ontario side in front of the AFL Ontario scoreboard, which is getting used to these new countries. And then, of course, it'll go back to being used for league play. Ball kicked along the right side of the field as Marlena Holinski was after it for the Canadians. Ball is going to be kicked back by the Colombians towards center, and the ball is not marked as the contest along the ground. Of course, much better conditions than we saw in the early part of yesterday when it was raining cats and dogs here. Ball will squirt out, does stay in play. Now it's kicked along the boundary by the Colombians, who again are trying to move up that Lake Ontario side as the ball is on the ground again. Again, this is the final match for both of these teams. They want to end this tournament on a winning note. Ball will go bouncing. Lots of space there in the corridor. Who wants it? Socket along the ground by Colombia. Ball is dribbling along. She'll have to pick up the ball at some point to get a key for goal. Here we go. The Jets are on now. Kick at the 50 meters as the ball will go, and it's almost blocked like a defenseman blocking a shot in hockey almost off the leg, and it was put out off of Lise Kiefer of Team Canada.
Intercepted by Bojorquez, actually, for Colombia, who took a mark. And Bojorquez now decides to center the football. It floats in the air, bounced off a chest of a Canadian player. Ball on the ground with a little bit of soccer skills there. Gutierrez. Umpires pulled out a free kick, and it is going the way of the Colombians. Umpire Dive Island says Colombian football, and just seeing who's going to take it. It is the... See who she points it to. And it might be Valentina Rodriguez, I think, that might end up with the resulting free kick. She finds herself probably about 35 metres out from goal. Gives the thumbs up, thinking about the shot at it. 1-2 steps. Now goes with a kick. It's long. It's across the face. Margot Logo chasing after the football. And the ball will go over the boundary line and out of bounds. 5 metres around from the right-hand point post, where it's Canada 3 behind, leading Colombia. No score at the Visit Mississauga.ca into the ground.
You talk about Margot Logo. You look at players like her and her sister Amy. You don't know what the international fixture schedule has going forward, so they're certainly cherishing every opportunity they have to represent their country as Team Colombia. With the ball, it's kicked out, and it's intercepted by the Canadian in the goal square. Nice defensive mark for Team Canada. Backing up, taking time. This is about 10:40 left. Again, that time is unofficial. Should be close to accurate, though. I don't think we've had any stoppages as of this point. As the kick out of the goal square, and it looks like it's going to be a decision to pay on. No, I spoke too soon. Kick along the right boundary. Ball will go up in the air. It was almost marked there, and Colombia with some good pressure there just outside that 50-meter arc as the ball moved by hand, and it's disposed of. And I don't know if the umpire thought there was a prior opportunity, and there was. Team Canada in possession now.
Yeah, it judged a throw in the end, and it was locked, and it goes out towards centre wing on the Lake Ontario side of the ground. Free kick going the way of Caroline Leduc, who played for East Fremantle in the WAFLW and the UTS Bats in AFL Sydney women's competitions. Kicks it long up the line, trying to hit the target there of Lacey Bellefontaine. Bellefontaine went for a second crack at the football. She's on hands and knees, tried to squeeze the hand pass out, found a teammate. Now they come across to Abby Clark. Clark goes inside 50 with the kicks, got the one-on-one, can't quite stick the mark, but keeping the ball in front of herself is Holinski. Holinski has got support there if she wants to pick up and go with a hand pass. Being pushed and shoved there with Mahicha against the boundary line. Ball is very close to going out, stays in, and a shot across the face of goal. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, how did they kick that?
I think that may have been Mabel Dunn kicking off a sharp angle, Peter.
Mabel Dunn almost ran out of space on a very acute angle, put through a contender for the Payable Apps goal of the tournament, and she puts the first on the board for the Canada Northern Lights in this contest. They go to 1-3-9, Colombia no score, 9 minutes remaining first term. Mabel Dunn, bravo!
Played for Canada at the Parallel Cup last year. Plays for the Calgary Kookaburras. Also plays soccer and basketball. And hiked from France across Spain in 34 days. So a woman of many talents. And one of those talents is kicking goals at the Transatlantic Cup. As we see the Payable Apps scoreboard updates to 1-3-9 Canada. No score. Colombia. Of course, PayableApps.com. They help sports teams simplify fee collection through the Google Add-ons. Payment Solutions Company provides add-ons, allowing payment to be made via credit card inside of a Google form or Google Sheets. As play back underway here, Team Canada in possession as it's handballed, intercepted. The pressure from Colombia has been good here. Short mark wasn't going to be the required, short kick wasn't going to be the required 15. Ball on the ground here, contest. Red and yellow jumpers, both swarming the ball. It is going to be won by Canadians. Hands kicked slightly towards the right. Team Canada on the march now. It is Patricio again, who's had a lot of the ball. Takes a bounce of it, feels the pressure, kicks it towards the goal square. Ball will go bouncing. Opportunity out in front of the goal for Team Canada here, perhaps. Here's a kick of the goal. Goes off Colombian feet as it was Filsen Hussein, and now the ball will go at a play at the end of the field.
So we'll have a throw in about 2 metres around from the left-hand point post at the taco truck pocket. As we got set up here at the Toronto City Centre end of the ground. We'll wait for the ball to come back into play. Almost just over the back of the goal square for the Canadians. Here's a hurried snap, and it goes through for a minor score. So 1 point to Canada, and they now move to 1-4-10. Colombia, no score. 7.5 minutes remaining, first term.
Kick out Colombia. Ball comes off hands at Team Canada. Battling for it there along the left boundary. Handball option out the back as buzzing around there was Erin Lockton. She's always near the ball. Has it again. Kicks it out towards the goal square. Contest. No one able to mark it. Colombia will take it. And ball still bouncing along. Colombia trying to get that kick out of trouble, so to speak, here as we've played 10 minutes here in this first quarter. Colombia down 10-0 to the host Canadians. Ball on the ground here as it's being battled for by Hussein. And we hear the umpire whistle. I don't know if that ball was decided. And it will end up in the hands of what's going to be a free kick here to Filsan Hussein. Big opportunity for her to put up Team Canada with another major score. Backs up, kicks, goes over Colombia player, and it will go skyward for Team Canada. That is a major score. Filsan Hussein kicks it through for Canada. Canada 2-4-16. Colombia no score. The Payable app scoreboard.
Filsan Hussein making her international tournament debut here in the AFL Transatlantic Cup. 28 years old, out of the Ottawa Swans. Played rugby in high school at the positions of flank and scrum half, and was looking for a rugby club in Ottawa when she stumbled across the Ottawa Swans, who play in the AFL Ontario competition.
And no doubt said, hey, this sport's way cooler than rugby. I'm going to play this instead.
Normally plays the role of a tagger, but they've moved her forward as they've thrown around the magnets in this final game for Canada and Colombia in the tournament. Their game 5 of 9 days. Up in the ruck we go. One out on that occasion there by Abby Clark. Umpire pins holding the football against the Canadians, and it will be a free kick going the way of Laura Garcia for Colombia. Garcia moves the ball out towards the wing position. Only to be intercepted there by CNL for Canada. Taking it here there, Lady Calderon knocks the football forward. The umpire says that is a throw, and it will be a free kick going the way of, I think it might be Clark here for the Canadians, who throws it on the boot, goes in towards the middle of the ground. In fact, that's Clark now, pardon me, that was almost on the end of it. Mabel Dunn was lurking nearby there as well. Players jumping on top of it, including Hussein, who cops one over the shoulder and gets a free kick. Hussein's been picking up a little bit of the ball in the last few minutes. As they would say, you know, if you were playing NBA Jam on the arcade machine, she's on fire. Yeah. And Hussein now kicks the football inside 50. Almost found the intended target there in Aaron Lockton, but too many Colombian players around. Match the sport. Eva Cherry's waiting on the outside if they can get it to her. Coming in there is Murillo, who can't get the hand pass clear. Ball on the deck. Laura Garcia goes in there. Popped out to Lady Calderon. Calderon dispossessed of the football. Goes back again. Gets a bear hug from Abby Clark. And now the Colombians kick the ball out towards their half-back flank on the Lake Ontario side of the ground. Hussein goes in there. Pardon me, it wasn't. It was Nicole Baker for Canada who went into the contest. Umpire blows the whistle, calls for a ball up. Tackle laid on by Caroline Leduc.
Yeah, a lot of congestion in that part of the field. Tough for anybody to break from the packs, but so to speak, and some nice work on the ground by a lot of different players. Abby Clark did a good job there in the spoil. Now she's involved in that ruck contest, which we'll see happen once more as we have under 5 minutes to go here in this first quarter. It is going to be a free kick inside that 50-meter arc as waiting to see who is going to get their hands on the ball. It is going to be Abby Clark again. It looks like backing up just outside the arc. Abby Clark from the Hamilton Wildcats making her international debut. Played basketball previously and discovered Aussie football. Where else? In Australia. Kick is up, and nice clean mark there by Team Canada's Erin Lockton, who's been very effective in this first quarter. She'll back up for a free kick and decides to play on. Kicking towards the goal, up off of free play, goes way up skyward. Ball goes off the boot of Erin Lockton, and it's through for a major score. Canada up 3-4-22, no score. Erin Lockton, the most recent goal kicker for the team in red.
And a contender as well for the Payable Apps goal of the tournament, helping sports teams supply fee collection through their Google add-ons, payableapps.com. This has gone out to 22 points of difference. A little bit of a shame for Colombia because you felt it at one stage when Canada were just 3 behind and Colombia had a few opportunities inside their forward 50. You're going, they're going to make a game of this. I mean, it hasn't blown out yet by any stretch of the imagination, but they'll be disappointed that they've allowed this 5 to 6 minute window where Canada's been able to get away from them. Umpire Di Filan telling the water person, you've got to get out of the middle of the ground when I do a ball up. Normally, if it was a normal contest, suburban football, where you should know the rules, to blow the whistle and say, free kick against you, but being a little bit lenient here in the Transatlantic Cup. As we said, it's the first time for the Colombian women playing 18 aside. Centre square infringement going against the Colombians, and that means it ends up in the hands of Abby Clark. Clark goes with a long right boot kick, juggling Mabel Dunn, couldn't quite hang on to it. Cutting through the middle there is Senecal. Senecal managed to get the football forward here for Canada, out towards the pocket. Good lead and good mark.
Yeah, big opportunity here for Canada to get another major score as it's gone their way here in the last part of quarter number one. Centering kick here to the goal square. Hands are up, and Hussein was in there trying to mark that, and the ball ends up squirting through instead. For another minor score, Canada moves to 3-5-23. No score, Colombia. Payable app scoreboard.
Don't forget, coming up at 1:30 p.m., we also have Colombia and Canada meeting in the men's competition. Amy Legault, strong grab and a contender for the Payable Apps mark of the tournament. Gets up, plays on. Amy Legault, a shot at goal is just going to fall short. Good mark for the Colombians on the last line of defense. The kick up in the Valentina Rodriguez direction. Laura Garcia was there as well. Ball got tapped around volleyball style to Gayer. Her kick across the face and will go through for a minus score. 3-6-24 Canada. Colombia. Timbits. No score. Minute 30 remaining.
It was a good work there by Aaron Loughnane to set up that scoring shot for Team Canada, the tip-off hands, and a defensive 50 kick for the Colombians. Hannah Gerard of the Halifax Dockers buzzing around. Handball to Loughnane, who will take another kick at goal. It looks good. It's up, and it's going to go to the ground, and it's going to go through the two middle posts. What a first quarter for Aaron Loughnane. Canada 4-6-30. Colombia no score. Payable app scoreboard. Canada's clicking now late in the first queue.
Here at the AFL Transatlantic Cup, as we heard in a halftime interview yesterday from Simon Highfield from the AFL, this is part of 3 intercontinental tournaments. We are going to have, of course, the AFL Pacific Cup coming up in November in Maroochydore, Queensland, the Sunshine State, as they call it, of Australia. And then coming up in December, the AFL Asian Cup, which will be played in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Just in case you're looking for somewhere to go in December and you want to book a holiday, might be worthwhile. Umpire throws the football up in the air again, if your bank says yes, of course, as the ball is on the ground. Laura Garcia, Valentina Rodriguez try to get in there. They're kicking the football on the ground. 3-on-1 numbers with the Colombians. They've certainly got a burst of speed, but not quite the skill there. Senecal gets it out, try to get it across to Hannah Gerard, who lost it. Senecal taps the football back. Umpire says in the back. Free kick going the way of the Canadians, and it will end up in the hands there of the number 14, Isabel Senecal, who met her husband through AFL Quebec. Now kicks up the line towards the half-forward playing position and not held on to. So that will signal quarter time. Canada 4-6-30. Colombia no score.
Yeah, I think this is a quarter that both teams are going to take positive things from. Obviously, Canada, you're seeing some of that offensive creativity there, some fun decisions to play on, keep the play going and the flow going for Canada. Colombia, to me, showed some pressure in that contest. They kind of bent a little bit in the first few minutes, but then had some inside 50s. They had some opportunity. They were creating some pressure, and that's just what you want to see, some good habits being formed and an identity in their first international appearance.
Let's take a look at the goal kickers at quarter time. They look like this. Loughnane 2 for Canada, singles to Dunn and Hussein. We might take this opportunity to take a break here at quarter time. It is Canada 4-6-30 leading Colombia no score at the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup, presented by Payable Apps.
Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
Play for fun. Play for fitness. Play for glory. Play for community. Play for club. Play for country. Play for each other. Play because you love playing. Play footy. Visit aflcanada.com and find a club near you today.
Welcome back to Colonel Samuel Smith Park here in Toronto, Canada for the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Labs. Peter Holden and Patrick McNeil with you, and at quarter time it is Canada 4-6-30 leading Colombia, no score in this tournament. And of course we look forward to, Patrick, tomorrow they have an extra rest day, 11:45 a.m. that's local time in Toronto. We will see the grand final in the women's division that is between the Irish Banshees and the USA Freedom.
Yeah, that should be a tremendous contest. The U.S. very heroic in their comeback against Team Canada. Going to be a big test against the Irish, but I think that they are up for it. I'm expecting, well, 2 really good grand finals tomorrow.
You can see a bit of yelling going on there. I think it might have been Amy Legault in the pack, because it is been suggested that for Amy and Margot Legault that this will be their final international tournament. Amy Legault, 39 years old. Margot Legault, the oldest player in the tournament at 46 years old. But 45, should I say, for Margot. Don't want to put an extra year on you, Margot. They've been stalwarts for not just only the Canadian team, but obviously for when they used to be known as the Montreal Saints and now the Quebec Saints. Montreal Angels, pardon me, then Quebec Saints. They've been playing in AFL Quebec for ages. And of course, forever famous, Amy Legault will be in Canadian Aussie rules football, because she was the captain of the Canada Northern Lights when they won the 2014 AFL International Cup in the women's division, defeating Ireland.
Yeah, her contribution's immeasurable, and it's been really special to watch the Legault sisters this week. And they've had nothing but kind words for us, which just tells you about the type of people they are, always giving back, when obviously they've been tremendous stars for the Northern Lights program.
And yeah, we got to think of some of the players, like even the player that played in that squad, Tricia Rolfe, who's now, of course, progressed to coaching this team. Yeah,
it's nice to see the evolution of the game, and the game is back on for quarter number 2. Canada is kicking left, right there, kicking towards Mississauga. You absolutely should visit Mississauga.ca. Canada in red, Colombia in yellow. They will be kicking towards the Toronto end of the field. Ball up, and Diane has been gutting it out with the umpiring this week. Had a little bit of minor injuries, but that's not going to stop her from throwing the ball up and being in the middle of the action. Ball kicked in to the forward 54 Team Canada. Attack is on. There's an opportunity at goal, and that was Carolyn Leduc booting it through. Goal, Canada. Carolyn Leduc, another veteran. And she has a goal. Canada 5-6-36, no score Colombia. And that's just the start Canada wanted to this quarter.
And I believe she's vice president of AFL Quebec. And may I say, contributed to myself and Troy Thompson's weight in our baggage that we had to bring across. For those that don't know the story, Caroline, on behalf of AFL Quebec and AFL Ontario, have been reaching out to AFL clubs to say, hey, have you got any merchandise that you can donate to us so we can give away to players that join our club? And the Melbourne Football Club stepped up and said we'd offer some Melbourne or Demons branded stuff, because we've got Montreal Demons playing in AFL Quebec, we've got High Park Demons playing in AFL Ontario, and the Melbourne Football Club gave away 32 kilograms of stuff. I had 4 kilograms of baseball caps in my bag that I had to bring over.
Peter barely had any room for ruffles in his bag after he put all that stuff in there. Is Team Canada now marching on the attack. Just shows you the great spirit of this sport of footy. Here's the attack on for Team Canada. Boot, it's towards the goal. That is going to go just for a minor score, as that was Lenore Gaillard of the Burnaby Eagles putting that through for behind. Canada goes 5-7-37, no score Colombia. Defensive 50 kick for the Colombians as the Canadians have ratcheted up the pressure here to start this second quarter. Ball will go up, intercept for Canada potentially. No, ends up on Colombian hands again. Again, the Colombians, the Jaguars, we would say in English, those very fancy jumpers who've been the talk of the tournament, as the ball ends up. Well, it'll go to a free kick here, and that will be Team Canada. It looks like getting that opportunity. That is going to be Lena Richardson with the ball. She'll have an opportunity to boot this well out of goal kicking distance, but has some options here.
And we'll elect to go inside 50. It's a long bomb, hit the ground. Lurking around there is Helinski. Can't pick up the football. Still chasing after it. Leduc goes in there. She could have 2 in a couple of minutes. How does that look? It's just kept out on the last line of defence. And it has been rushed through for a minor score in the end. So Canada on the Payable app scoreboard move out to 5-8-38. Colombia, no score.
Yep, ball kicked out of the defensive 54 Colombia. Following that, Canada behind. Canada attack is on again, though. Isabel Kleinbolt of the Ottawa Swans with it. Now the ball goes to ground. Who wants it? As the ball still in dispute here along the ground. Canadians and Colombians alike battling for it. It's kicked out of trouble, but not before the umpire blows the whistle, and that will lead to a free kick Colombia. An opportunity here to break down the right side of the field. Again, the Colombians looking for their first score. They want to avoid being shut out like France was in the first game of the day. Ball not marked. Now it's on the ground, available for who wants it. Amy Legault is in the contest as well. Had no time whatsoever as pressure was being brought forward. It looks like that was Lady Calderon, the vice captain, saying a lot of her name, and that's going to be a free kick to Canada. And it's booted out in towards forward 50. Intercept for Colombia.
And it's taken away there by Echeverri. In fact, I think it might be Benavides that took that mark. Pardon me. Benavides will now go short with it. Wanted to come inboard, trying to find Bajorquez. Couldn't get onto her. Chasing after the football. It is now going for Canada. And I think it might be being brought down there. CNL. The umpire says, throwing the football, you've been pinned. Free kick going the way of the Colombians. And they'll have the ball on the half-back flank broadcast side of the ground. That's the E There Live broadcast side. Here's the kick. It's floating through the air. Just came off hands here. Hurried little dish out going across to Leonor Gaynor. Gaynor going towards the pocket. Bouncing football. Heavy traffic situation here. Gaynor chased up her own kick in the end. Swung it around. She was trying to center the football in the Legault direction. Got away from her. And Mario now kicks the football. Has to go back and get her own ball because a little hand in there by Legault. That little 1%er saw it smothered partially off the boot. The Colombians now kick it out towards the broadcast wing. Nothing on here. This could be a lasso free kick. It is a lasso free kick to Canada. And it will end up in the hands of number 21, Nicole Baker. So Baker has the football. She is forward of centre wing.
It lost possession to Colombia, so Canada gets the free kick as Baker will move it along the right. Boots it along the right side, not marked, and it goes out of play as that was Nicole Robertson diving, but unable to make the mark. And I think that was going to come to the umpire. Boundary throw in here as the Canadians have a forward 50 entry. Ball comes up, 50-50 contest. It's tapped by Canadian hands. Good handwork there by the Canadians. Booted towards the goal, and that is going to bounce along the ground right in front of the goal square. Possible goal kicking opportunity here for the Canadians. Handball option executed. Goes out the back. Here's an opportunity. That is Amy Legault booting it through, and that's a major score for Amy Legault. And she's going to have a special day today and has booted it through for Team Canada. 6-8-44. No score Colombia. Payable app scoreboard.
Amy Legault, she's a beautiful person, and I don't mean looks-wise. She's obviously model material, but a beautiful soul. Very welcoming to anyone that wants to be interested in Aussie rules football. Welcoming any player, official, commentator, and they were so generous, her and her sister Margot, to myself, you, Patrick, David, Brian, and Troy Thompson has been covering the event. They actually gave us a signed Canadian flag by the whole Northern Lights team and a little Canadian hoodie diary as well. So thank you again to Amy, to Margot, and the entire Canada Northern Lights team for the hospitality that they've given us broadcasters.
Absolutely outstanding hospitality, and those were beautiful gifts and very heartfelt as well. Hard not to tear up at receiving that earlier this week as the game is back underway here. Again, Team Canada in control. Final match of this week for both of these teams as a ball along the ground. It's going to be handball there. Colombian on the attack as the ball will just stay in play as comes out to Colombia as Mahaki puts it out, and that is going to end up as a free kick for Team Canada. It's sometimes tough to see the names in the congestion here. There's a lot of contests along the ball. Ball goes up higher than it goes long, and that is going to be batted forward by Team Colombia as Urquerez will kick it forward. Now Canada in possession. I think that was Kleinball booting it forward. Short kick wasn't going to be a mark anyway, but the Canadians on the attack. Dunn will take it. Looking for a handball. Doesn't have any option. Again, great pressure there by Colombia, and that will be, I think that's going to be holding the ball. That should be a free kick to the Colombians. Good pressure there by Colombia here on the left side of the boundary.
And ending up in the hands of Carolina Ospina from the Mountain Lions out near Median. Now kicks out towards the half-forward flank position. Baker maybe held without the football. No, umpire said you dropped the ball. And it'll be a free kick to Colombia. Andrea Mario, also from the Mountain Lions, 22 years of age. The average age for the Colombian side, by the way, 28.6. Average age for the Canada Northern Lights is 32. As hand passing back there was Leslie Gerber for the Northern Lights, going up the line, trying to find Amanda Irwin, knocked away. Close towards the boundary line. Boundary umpire is watching on here. The field umpire, Di Farland, has blown the whistle and said there'll be a free kick going the way of Canada. And it may end up in the hands of the number 24, Isabel Kleinbub, who competed in wrestling in high school, also plays ringette. Tell me, what is the sport ringette?
Well, it's similar to hockey. You have a little ring you got to maneuver around your stick instead of shooting a puck. I'm not a big ring expert. Don't have a lot of it in our part of the world, but that'd be the closest parallel, I guess you'd say.
So a resulting free kick coming out here to the Canadians. And again, they'll have the ball on the half-back flank. That's being taken by Gerard, centre half-back rather, and she goes straight down the line. Bouncing football, chasing after it is going to be Baker on this, is going to be Hussein on this occasion. She fell over, had plenty of support there. And they'll try and bust a gut through the middle. Original support was Lacey Bonfontaine. Umpire's blown the whistle and said there's a holding infringement here. In fact, it's a player that's being pinned with the football, and it will be a Colombian free kick to the way of Stefania Goteros, who played for the Darebin Falcons in the Northern Football League in Melbourne for 5 months, thanks to the Orica Future Leaders Scholarship Program. And if any bigwigs from Orica are listening, for what it's worth, continue pouring money into that program. I think it's done fantastic for Stefania, and hopefully you can have a few more Colombian women come down to Australia to play.
And it's really tremendous for the development in these countries where there's not as much footy being played, because these women or men in some cases will get that experience playing in Australia, and then they'll bring that back and impart that wisdom to their teammates. Kick along the left boundary, and another potential intercept mark there. Ball on the ground. Handball option out the back by Canada. That was Richardson kicking it forward as the ball bouncing around that 50-meter arc. Good protection there by the Colombians. There's a contest along the ground, and again the umpire on top to adjudicate as we get a quick whistle there with 8 minutes to go in the second quarter, and it'll end up being a free kick for Colombia. Ball in the defensive 50 for the team in yellow. It's booted up forward in the air. Where's it going to go? Hands are up. Trying to mark the ball. No one's able to do it. Ball comes back up now. Dunn's in the contest there for Canada, but it's going to be Colombian hands initially winning it. Now it's free for the taking. It's going to be Colombia again. Touch out the ground. It's booted up along the right boundary on the Lake Ontario side. Wind picking up a little bit, at least in our broadcast location. Not sure about on the field. Gaillard has the ball. Did have the ball. Taken down to the ground quickly. And we should see this ball come onto the hands of the Colombian player right in the middle. That is Bojoquez. And she'll have an opportunity right in that center square.
Bojoquez now goes inside 50 with the football. Oh, good strong grab taken. Letting out to take it, Sarah Rodriguez. Rodriguez very close to play on the mark. As told by her teammates, she should get back. Now she's too far out to score, but hopefully she can hit a target closer to goal inside 30. It's a high ball leading out towards the pocket. Good spoiling work from behind there by Amanda Irwin. Brought the ball to ground. Hurried snapper around the corner. Last line of defence mark here for the Canadians. The first time they've really been tested. And this kick out, it's not all that flash. Under all kinds of pressure, there was Isabel Senecal, courtesy of the run at it by Sarah Rodriguez. The kick out now by the Canadians towards the half-back flank. There live, broadcast side of the ground. Here comes the legend herself in Amy Legault. Kicks the football off the ground in the direction of Hussein, who did well to knock it on, and Hussein wants to go back in for a second crack at it and pick it up. Get it across to Caroline Leduc. Leduc now goes inside 50 with the kick. Wants to find an intended target, but it was read best by the Colombians. Good mark, and swinging around is Erica Pavida.
Yeah, good chain link there by Canada, but ultimately the last line of defense came to Colombia. There is an intercept mark for Canada just outside the 50-meter arc, and actually backing up quite a bit. This isn't going to be a kick for goal, but a kick to mark, hopefully for the Canadians. That's what they're looking for. Ball's going to go along the ground. There is a contest. Canada with numbers. Good bump there, and that will allow the play to open up here, and that is kicked towards goal. Looking for a centering mark. Nicely completed there by Marlena Holinsky on the kick from Amanda Irwin. Holinsky's got an opportunity to put her name on the goal-kicking sheet. Boots it up over Colombian arms. That looks good. Goal umpire confirms 7-8. 50, Canada, no score. Colombia on the Payable app scoreboard.
May I say that we're chatting to a few ex-Canadian Northern Lights players that were hanging around the ground the other day watching that game against Ireland. And a shout out to Nicola Kerwin, who was one of the star players for the Northern Lights in the 2017 campaign. And she was a dominant player on this field over many seasons in the AFL Ontario competition with the Etobicoke Kangaroos.
Yes, the home team, I guess we could say, here at Humber College. Of course, we are on the beautiful campus of Humber College in Etobicoke, Ontario. Colonel Samuel Smith Park as we get a ball up following that Team Canada goal. Nice tap done there by Team Canada's Abby Clark. She's had a little bit of the football today as the Canadians on the attack through the corridor. It's going to be booted up. Marking opportunity. No, it goes off legs instead as Team Canada again in red, as with the ball there is Amanda Irwin, who's had a little bit little bit of that today, and ball goes to ground. It looks like we have a holding the football call. That is going to be a free kick to Mabel Dunn of Canada, who had the game's first major score. She'll kick it forward. Short kick. I don't know if that would have been the 15 anyway, but Canada on the attack now as Senecal will boot it forward. It comes bouncing along the ground. Who wants it? It's going to be Richardson, or pardon me, that is going to be Robertson. Easy to tell those two apart, and Robertson will boot it through. Looks like a minor score. 7-9, Canada 51, no score Colombia.
As we wait for the ball to be brought back into play, here's a long kick out towards the halfback flank position for the Colombians. Overrunning the football there was Lady Calderon. Now going with a burst of speed over the top, Pavita. It's better play here from Colombia. They have been improving with their burst of speed in this quarter, and as the tournament has gone on, Valentina Rodriguez caught one in the back without the football, and in fact, the other player that got brought down but will be given the free kick is Lady Calderon, and she will have it for the Colombians. Umpire Di Filan just making sure all is okay. Lady Calderon out of the Dunya Tarantulas, vice-captain of this side, making her debut, 36 years old. Goes up towards the half-forward flank position. Umpire says infringement in the contest as a player was shepherded more than 5 metres off the ball, and it was the number 25, Jen Minchin. She kicks up the line. Mark's taken. The Canadians again move it on centre wing on the Lake Ontario side of the ground. Caroline Leduc came flying out. Couldn't get control of the football. Ball popped out the back here. Might be Lacey Belfontaine who squares it up towards the top of the goal square. Good mark taken. Hurries to play on and kick the goal. A second for Marlena Holinsky. And Canada extend their lead here on the Payable app scoreboard. They go to 8-9-57. Colombia no score. Marlena Holinsky, physiotherapist in aquatic therapy for children and played rugby for 12 years.
Yeah, some transferable skills there for sure and having an impact in this game. Great work there by Belfontaine on the wing. Identifies Holinsky open in the goal square, and she didn't wait too long kicking that for another major score as Canada is pouring it on, and they're doing a great job going to the visitmississauga.ca, and you absolutely should visit Mississauga as they have hundreds of must-see experiences, plenty of gorgeous scenery and world-class eats and events. Mississauga is yours to explore. Visit Mississauga.ca. As the Colombians win the tap and the center clearance following the goal. There's a strong boot towards forward 50. Been a long time since the ball's been down that end. Goes bouncing. Here's an opportunity. It's on, so to speak, for the Colombians. Pressure coming, though, for Team Canada. Ball squaring along towards the goal square. Numbers for both red and yellow as Colombian hands there provided by Linda Mahachia. And the whistle goes from the umpire a little bit further away from our broadcast location, waiting to see what they do. Of course, we're set up here, and it is going to be a free kick for Andrea Bravo for the Colombians. It looks like a decent distance here. This might be an opportunity for Colombia to get on the score sheet for the first time. Boot goes up, and it's intercepted, or not intercepted, not cleanly marked, but defended well by Team Canada as the Canadian attack is on up the left boundary on the counterattack. Ball will come up. And in the defensive 50, just inside the defensive 50, it is marked. And there is a handball by Robertson. Not cleanly, though, so the ball in dispute along the ground as we hear the umpire whistle blow once again. We have a little more than 120 left here in this second quarter, Peter.
And a chance for Colombia to attack once again inside 50, being wrapped up. Sarah Rodriguez going nowhere. Trying to get a kick away. The umpire said, before you did, I blew the whistle, and it will be for a ball up. So this is about 40 metres out from the Colombian goal, going to the Toronto City centre end. Ball got brought to ground. Watching on the outside of the pack, Bojiquez for Colombia. Can't get it out. Trying to get through is Lady Calderon. Shot a goal here for the Colombians. She's got it. Lady Calderon gets on the scoreboard. You can hear the Colombian men getting up and cheering as well. Goal for the Jaguares. And they can say that they scored against the Canadians. They're 1 straight 6 trailing Canada. 8-9-57. About 30 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Yeah, special moment for Colombia and well rewarded to Lady Calderon, has been great for them all tournament. It's about the little victories, and you can see the great Colombian spirit. It's been so fun to watch throughout the tournament. Those women are so happy to be here and playing at that high level and showing that they belong, even if it's not always reflected on the scoreboard. As the ball will come back to center, as again it is 57-6, and we should be just about due to go to the half, but of course the players don't know the exact amount of time, but when we get the ball up, we'll see if there's any more football to be played here in this first half. Ball will go up, and the tap is won by the Canadians. Ball still in dispute along the ground here, and it'll come to Team Canada. Handball option out the back, and that's going to be your horn. Canada up 8-9-57, but Colombia's on the board 1-0-6-57-6. Canada on the Payable app scoreboard after the first half.
I think, Patrick, as we've been talking about the positives there for Colombia, Colombia, as we started to see as the second quarter went on, the more free-flowing they were able to move the ball up the ground. We've been talking about maybe France and a few other sides have been getting stuck trying to get a chain together. It's all about that chain, run and link up and move the ball quickly. Colombia are getting better and better at that, particularly against the tougher opponents. And to be able to score, I mean, it was going to be a tough challenge for them today, trying to win against Canada, but this is exciting for them going forward, isn't it? That if they get able to throw down a competitive challenge to Canada, unfortunately they won't play the USA in this format, but they're able to throw down a competitive challenge to Canada. It just keeps highlighting the need that going forward that we do need to look beyond the 49th Parallel Cup, and we need to start thinking tri-series going forward and having the Colombians a regular part of a challenge against Canada and the USA.
Yeah, I think so. I think it will be a lot of fun, and they're showing it, the skills. As you said, it's just about getting better as it goes on, and you can see the spirit. And you mentioned earlier, you look at the average age, obviously a younger Colombian side, so a lot of these women are going to have the opportunity to grow together and develop together, and you know they're going to do a good job bringing in more players to the fold. So I think it's very encouraging for international footy.
So at half-time, 8-9-57 Canada, Colombia, 1 straight 6. Goal kickers look like this. For the Canada Northern Lions, it's 2 each to Hussein and Loughlin. Singles to Helinsky, Amy Legault, Dunn and Leduc. And for the Colombian Jaguares, Lady Coderon with their goal. We'll take this opportunity to step aside, and we'll be back with the second half here at the Humber College South Campus, Etobicoke, Toronto, Canada, for the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup.
AFL has huge potential, not only in Colombia, but also Latin America. And Orica is really excited to be part of that story.
Los lazos humanos entre Colombia y Australia son de una importancia altísima. Para ambos países el deporte es algo muy importante en la vida. Tenemos las culturas muy similares en este sentido, con los valores de equidad de género, de participación. En la cancha todos somos iguales.
Mi vida siempre se basó en el tema del deporte, porque el deporte a mí me salvó de todo aspecto posible que normalmente en la juventud no. El tema de alcohol, de vicios y demás, a mí llegó a mi vida fue el deporte. En el 2019 tuve un accidente de tránsito donde las oportunidades de volver a tocar una cancha eran nulas. Aún los médicos me dicen, tú cero deporte, cero correr, jugar, saltar, deportes de contacto. Siento que mi familia en esa parte forma un pilar importantísimo. Mi mamá estuvo conmigo y me cuidó como nadie lo hizo, porque era la que tenía y se aguantaba la de mamá, no quiero a nadie en este momento.
AFL Colombia has the potential to have long-lasting impacts in the communities. Entonces, Alejandro, Oscar y Stefania, we chose these players as the future leaders because they showed throughout the selection process and throughout their time in the organisation that they are future leaders and they are really focused on developing others.
O sea, la idea es crecer aún más, estar en un nivel alto para así poder llegar y enseñarle a todos a mis compañeros.
Para mí la beca es una oportunidad enorme, una oportunidad que no se le presenta a cualquiera, una oportunidad que ya tenía mi nombre destinado en ello. Voy a vivir siempre agradecida con este deporte porque me dio una luz. Porque yo vivía mi vida, después del accidente, vivía mi vida, pero no era feliz. Cuando conocí el deporte y empecé a jugar de nuevo, y vida está de testigo, mi vida cambió.
That's the culmination of a lot of work for a lot of people. A heap of people have contributed to this, and it's great to see them living out their dreams, and you know, we're all very excited for them, and it's going to be great.
Great news, sports teams. Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Setup is easy. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Players can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more, streamlining the process for them, all while you stay organized with real-time updates. Registrations, uniforms, races, sponsorship, clinics, coaching, training, and classes. Keep it simple with Payable Forms.
Aussie Rules the World podcast is a podcast dedicated to bringing our listeners information from international Aussie rules, from news, reports, reviews, and interviews from people dedicated to building Aussie rules internationally. During the Transatlantic Cup, World Footy Shorts will be bringing you daily updates from what's happened from the games and around the event. And this is Aussie Rules the World podcast.
And welcome back to Colonel Samuel Smith Park at Humber College South, Etobicoke, Toronto, Canada, as part of the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps. It's Peter Holden and Patrick McNeil bringing you this women's consolation match, game 2 on day 9 between the Canada Northern Lights and Colombia Jaguares. 8-9-57 Canada, Colombia 1 straight 6. And we should say, again, the Colombians putting in a fantastic effort, Patrick, so far. This, of course, is they're 4.5 games into their international career as an 18-a-side team.
Yeah, these women, we always talk about this player debuting, and that's the whole team in this case debuting, and they've got it well for themselves. Of course, they were able to pick up victories over France, and we look for those pockets of the contest that we can look at, and we've seen a little bit of that of Colombia where the pressures come on, and I think they've done themselves proud. It's been fun to watch for Team Colombia.
And, of course, if you do want to play football in Colombia, they do have an AFL Colombia Facebook page, which will link to local clubs like the Mountain Lions up in Medellin, the Bogota Bulldogs, for example. So if you know someone that's traveling through that area or will be traveling down there soon or lives in Colombia, tell them to visit AFL Colombia on Facebook. And, of course, also on Facebook, you can find AFL Canada in case you happen to be Ontario, Quebec, in Alberta, in British Columbia, in Nova Scotia.
Absolutely. Burgeoning growth of Aussie football in AFL Atlantic right now.
To get us underway for the third quarter, here's Patrick McNeil.
Ball is up, and Canada in Colombia in the contest. It's tapped forward by Team Canada in red, kicking towards Toronto, right to left on your screen. Colombia is in yellow. They will be kicking towards the Visit Mississauga end, which they means will be going left to right. Kick to the 50-meter arc. Ball's up in the air. Where's it going to go? Colombian hands. There is a lot of pressure there. And ball is got rid of, so no free kick. There's play goes right on as Gerard was feeling the pressure there. Good work by Colombia. And I didn't see the holding the ball sign has been made, so Colombia will get a free kick. Left boundary, and it's kicked up. Short kick there, just the required 15 to the vice captain, Laura Garcia. She's on the move. Handball up the middle, and the Canadian hands are out to try to block the chain, so to speak. On the move is Canada as it's kicked by Gaillard, and Team Canada on the attack on the boundary. Good pressure there, though, by Colombia. Robertson was taken down as all kinds of numbers to the contest here. A lot of congestion here in the early part of this third quarter. It's going to be a free kick to Canada's Nicole Robertson.
She played state league level football with the Southern Saints in the VFLW in 2021. That's in Australia in the marvellous state of Victoria, as the kick is long in the direction of, as the umpire, Di Filans, put out a free kick. It was in the direction of Marlena Halinsky. I should correct earlier, I said she had 1 goal and Hussein had 2. It's the other way around. Hussein had 1, Halinsky had 2. And she's going for her third goal. Halinsky on a 45-degree angle, probably about 35 metres out. Wants to try and centre the football. Almost worked out. Went through several sets of hands. Benita in there holding on. Umpire Di Filans come out and pulled out a free kick going the way of the Canadians and directly in front of goal. I think it might end up in the hands of Caroline Leduc. Caroline Leduc directly in front. Vice President of AFL Quebec, played basketball for 24 years. And she still looks like she's 21. The ever youthful Caroline Leduc directly in front. Creeps in. And should put this straight through. Made the goal umpire work a little bit, but it's still worth 6 points. Caroline Leduc has 2 goals for the tournament. And on the Payable app scoreboard, it is Canada 9-9-63, Colombia 1 straight 6.
Yeah, flair for the dramatic there for Caroline Leduc. Up, and high and through the goalpost to give Canada another major score. We talked, she's a veteran of the game, having played everywhere. Plays not only both in Ontario and Quebec, but has played in Australia as well. He said playing basketball for such a long time. Has also played at a number of USAFL nationals, every one since 2016. Of course, a lot of the Canadian women go down there integrating with either Canadian teams to play in American leagues or hop on an American team for the week. Of course, that's coming up in October. Brian Bear should be happy to tell you all about it as we get a ball up following the Canadian goal. But we've got some Colombian speed here through the corridor. That kick will go. Would have been enough, but it wasn't cleanly marked. We've got a contest on the ground. Ball will come slowly towards our there live broadcast location. Soccer skills on display for Guataleras. She'll boot it up. And it is not going to be marked. It's on the ground, in dispute, so to speak. Canadian hands are on it. Ball up. And again, both teams bringing numbers to the contest here. As perhaps maybe too congested as the ball comes up. Colombia, again, attacking that. Visit Mississauga.ca. And who wants the football? Who's going to be able to pick it up? So much pressure there from Team Canada. It's booted up. And that is going to be locked in. Didn't cleanly mark the ball. She's in the contest, but it's going to be Colombia getting it. Kick, short kick. Ball on the ground. Who's going to be able to pick it up? Again, not a lot in terms of linking up here in this sequence here in the second quarter as we're coming up on the 4-minute mark, or third quarter, pardon me, as the ball is up and Colombian feet and Colombian hands afoot. There's a boot off the ground. It'll come into the 450. We have a Colombian player down in the middle of all this as play goes right on. And it comes up. Here's an opportunity. That is off the boot of Valentina Rodriguez. And that has gone through. And I think, is there going to be a score recorded?
No score.
Yeah, too much congestion, Peter. The player's blocking my view here.
And that was on the last line of play as the Canadians move it out towards the far side of the ground. Going in there and picking it up after spinning around on the sixpence is Patricio. Does well. The ball gets very close towards the boundary line. Now they move it up towards the half-forward flank position. Coming out to meet it there, Hussein gives the hand pass off. Coming in to lay a tackle there, Romero for the Colombians. Umpire says throwing the football, and Romero will end up having the resulting free kick. Romero, number 17, vice captain at the Bogota Bulldogs. Previously played basketball and currently coaches soccer. The kick is going to be intercepted, though, and it'll be a Canadian football. And in the hands of Lise Kiefer. Kiefer goes up towards centre wing, Lake Ontario side of the ground. Umpire blows the whistle, says free kick. Holding infringement going the way of the Canadians. Half-forward flank just in front of the tents where the umpires are located. And thank you to the umpires for all the magnificent work that they've done this tournament. We know a few of them are still learning the craft a little bit, but as they don't have that many 18-a-side matches back home, but all this, like the players, is a learning experience where everything gets better. Umpire blows out the whistle and says free kick going the way. I think it might be a Walensky here for Canada, who wants to try and reset and go kick it in towards the central corridor for Laura Gaynor. Gaynor has shot a goal as away to the left-hand side, and that moves the score now to 9-10-64 Canada. Colombia 1 straight 6. Regretfully, we won't have the opportunity to get a 10-9-69 lemon chicken.
Indeed, and I wanted to note, too, it was Stephanie Guadalares for Colombia that went off favoring her right arm, and it looked like there was some wrap there, so I don't know if we're going to see her again. Obviously, that would be a big loss for Colombia. She's been one of their key players in this tournament. Centering kick there by the Colombians as they move down the field in towards the corner. Some fancy footwork there. Ball kicked to the right boundary next to our Either live broadcast location. It is going to be Isabel Senecal moving it forward for the Canadians, as there was some big pressure on Jen Minchin. Big numbers to the scrum here as the ball is on the ground, and the umpire will call for the ball. He says that's mine, and we'll get a ball up here as the Canadians and Colombians will have an opportunity to sort it out. 64-66 is the score on the Payable Ops scoreboard. Ruck contest is won by Team Canada, but again, sometimes tapping it forward on the ruck makes it tough to produce a result, and the ball remains in dispute, and the elbows coming up there. We have some more WWE style action there on the ground, and this is a bit more testy than we've seen thus far in this game.
And a little bit of push and shove there just for a moment. As you said, getting a bit testy in there. It's a bit like they're about to point to a sign to promote a pay-per-view coming up. As the ball is being smacked around, went without it was Patricio, and umpire said throw against Carol Echeverry, and there's still another little bit of push and shove, so a bit of heat in the contest, and they're just being told calm down, calm down. Umpire blows the whistle and says it's a free kick coming back here to Canada. Number 44, Lainey Richardson. Richardson with the football. Looks to go up the line. She's making her international debut out of the Ottawa Swans. 27 years old. Kicks it towards the half-forward flank position. Coming out to make it again. Filson Hussein. Hussein with a little skip and a step. Kicks up towards the half-forward flank position. 1-2 bites of the cherry. Nicole Robertson couldn't quite bring the football in. Up against the boundary line. One step and over and out. And this is where we'll call for a throw-in. This is not a last disposal rule. It is judged as it has been touched over the line.
And both teams will have an opportunity here. Equal contest. Ball comes up to the rucks, and it's tapped. Robertson got hands on it. Now the ball ends up in Colombian hands as it's free-flowing football here. Comes to Lockton again, who's had several touches of the football today. Ball goes skyward, further high up than it was, wide long, and that will cause for a whistle. As again, we've played a little bit more than 8 minutes here of quarter number 3 as the ball ends up in the hands of Team Colombia. Looks like we might have a 50-meter penalty here as well, as that's going to be moved forward. That is going to be Camila Rubieno with the ball. Camila Rubieno plays for the Quebec Saints in Montreal, also plays rugby in Gaelic. Can speak Romanian, but cannot speak English, but presumably can speak French to her teammates in Quebec. Free kick is made, and Lady Calderon with the mark, and she'll have an opportunity to decide what she wants to do. Ball goes skyward, looking for another marking option. Contest goes to the ground here. In Colombia, yellow, Canada in red. In this final match for both of these teams. Ball on the ground here. Where is it going to go? As Canadian hands are after it, as are Colombians. And again, so many numbers to the contest. Perhaps not a lot of wide-out options there as the ball comes up. And I think that may have been Hussein, and couldn't get a clear look. That was trying to battle for that, and the play goes to the ground again. More congestion here in this part of the contest.
So it looks like it will be in the hands of Hussein for Canada. The Northern Lights leading at the moment by 58 points. 8 minutes remaining in the third term for Payable Apps. Gets on the right boot, goes long up the line. Oh, it's Amy Legault who takes a mark right on the chest. Legault swings around on the right boot, goes inside 50 with a kick towards the pocket. Big traffic jam of players here at the moment. Trying to work the way in there was Lacey Belfontaine. She couldn't pick up the football. Also coming into it, Lainey Richardson. Ball spilled out. A little bit of a bump being put on there by Amanda Irwin. Ball still in the forward pocket for the Canadians. Being pulled to ground as Lainey Richardson. They scream ball, and umpire Di Filan says, yes, free kick for Colombia.
Yeah, free kick on the holding the ball call. Ball kicked along the right side of the boundary. Colombia trying to get that links going, and there we go. Some sustained possession on for Colombia. Nice touch of the ground,
and
that's
then the
high.
Pressure comes. That is high every day. Oh.
We're talking about WWE. Almost a full set hair pull there.
Now it's getting testy. The problem was the umpire missed that the ponytail got pulled, and that was a high free kick. And now it's starting to get a bit aggro there at the moment. This is not good. But it was clearly a missed high free kick. There was a grab at the ponytail, which is done up high as the player was gone to the ground, and the umpire pinned for holding the ball. And unfortunately, and this is what happens. The umpires have really got to be red hot on high free kicks, because when you miss high free kicks, then all of a sudden it brings a lot of heat into the game. And as we just saw what happened there.
Yeah, and usually with a high free kick, you'd see if it was head or high in the shoulders. But in this case, as Peter said, it was a hair pull, and that is going to lead out of all this a Colombian free kick. And perhaps you expect a little bit of physicality, but this is certainly a testiness I did not expect to see in this game. Things escalating here in a hurry. Handball option along the side here. It's booted out towards the 50-meter arc, and a nice, good, clean mark there on the intercept for Canada. Trying to calm the temperature of the game down perhaps a little bit, which the umpires would probably prefer regardless of which team is in control. Handball option executed, comes along the left side on the boundary, and the E there live broadcast location. Contest on the ground as Hussein is feeling the pressure there. It's booted out along the left side by Canadian feet, locked in, looking to get to the football as it's bouncing along the ground as it's contest in the grass again, and comes up to Canadian hands. There is again both teams getting numbers strong too. Patricio has it for Canada, at least briefly. Ball goes bouncing out, and it is going to escape the boundary here as we have 5:43 to go in the third quarter. Canada 64, Colombia 6. Payable app scoreboard.
And of course, these footballs are sponsored by the Australian High Commission to Canada, responsible for advancing Australia's interests in Canada. Canada.embassy.gov.au. Ball thrown back into play. And the Colombians will try and move it out of defence with Lady Calderon, who kicks around the corner. Umpire says no 15, or at least touched, as Senecal had to get rid of it quickly. Caught is Kleinbarb, umpire says, holding the football. Colombia free kick, and they move it with some speed. They've got to do some dancing around. Calderon now put it on the right boot, looking for Murillo. She had it momentarily. She was caught there by Minchin, put into the ground. Umpire said no opportunity, and will call for a ball up. He'll take the football back immediately. Nominating for the ruck for Canada is Abby Clark up against Murillo. Clark wins it out with a right-hand tap. Red best off the pack there by the Colombians. Here's a hurry little kick on the ground. I think Ivacheri tries to move the football forward towards the centre wing position. Canada have some numbers here, just weaving through traffic. Patricio now moves it towards the half-forward flank on the E There Live broadcast side of the ground. Hussein tried to get there, couldn't do so. Colombian football. Tarachi now takes it. Tarachi now kicks up the line. Ivacheri was underneath it. Valentina Rodriguez back to Ivacheri. She's immediately wrapped up in a sandwich. Umpire blows the whistle, and again we'll call for a ball up.
Been a very physical stretch of play, and the Colombians not backing down. We've probably seen them do their best job of earning holding the ball free kicks here in this third quarter that perhaps we've seen the entire tournament. As Colombia in possession, high kick goes skyward out, and that is going to be marked by Team Canada. That is Lise Kiefer with the ball. Lise Kiefer plays for the Hamilton Wildcats, a veteran, played in the 2017 IC for Team Canada. Kick low along the ground, goes towards the corner. Colombian hands are after it. Ball on the ground. Who wants it? As it is obviously Canada in the lead here, but the Colombians try to account well for themselves. They've done that in this third quarter. Ball on the ground again as we have a contest here as the frequency of contests along the ground picking up here perhaps, and I think that's going to be the umpire's ball. Indeed it was. No clean winner there, so the ball will go up. Get a ruck contest here, and again, Canada with a height advantage there, and I don't think that was contested fairly, and it looked like the Colombian player just kind of ran in to Abby Clark, so Clark awarded a free kick.
And Clark wants to move the football out towards the centre wing on the Lake Ontario side of the ground. Going for a run is Mabel Dunn, and Dunn kicks it forward in towards the half-forward flank position. Caroline Leduc came out to try and meet the football, knocked away from there. Hussein is there as well. Legault got a go. Now she gets it across quickly, managing to find Lainey Richardson. Richardson dribbled the football inside 50, goes towards the forward pocket, laid out in the hands of Holinsky. Holinsky got to dance around, goes for the hand pass back towards the pocket. One step, kick it, goal. This looks pretty good. And the goal umpire says that will be 2 pies, please, 2 flags, and Canada go to 10-10-70. Colombia 1 straight 6.
It is a goal, Canada, as the Canadians move up to 70-6. They're trying to see the Canadian player. That may have been Aaron Lockton that got the boot on that, as the Canadians expanding their lead. And a good goal for them to maybe settle things down after a testy sequence of play in which Colombia was pushing back. And Canada with a nice goal here as we're nearing the end of the third quarter, 2:24 to go. And we talked earlier that Canada, allowing some of the veteran players are sitting this one out. You see Anna Brancati and Jacqueline Halliday serving as water carriers, so they've traded in their usual red jumpers for the purple water carrier shirts, but they're happy that things are well in hand as we get the ball up to the umpire as the play resumes here. Again, Canada kicking towards the Toronto end, Colombia kicking towards the Visit Mississauga.ca end. Ball booted low along the ground. Hussein, who's been a presence out there for Canada today, moving it forward. Of course, her regular Ottawa Swans jumper looks pretty similar to this Team Canada jumper as the whistle was blown. Players, I don't think, realized that the play had been halted, as marching on there was Gaillard, but that will be sorted out, and Hussein will get a free kick for Team Canada here as we're into the final 2 minutes of the third quarter.
A little bit hard to see on the mobile phone about who it was, but we think we'll go with your call with Lachlan to have a third goal. And that one kicked about a minute ago. Looking for Amy Legault, who jumped up, had it momentarily, and then copped a bit of a whack across the scone. And the umpire says, you can have the football back, please. I'm not sure what the legal requirements are, but can we name the AFL Quebec home ground the Amy Legault Field? Is that possible?
I will second it. Why not?
This does not have any legal standing, but it is so from my pronunciation on this date, being August 10th in the year 2024. As we have the football for Colombia in their back pocket, want to go short to Gutierrez now, who has the ball and goes on the right boot out towards the direction of Laura Garcia, who attacked the pill, lost control of it, wants to go back in again. Garcia had it, had support on the outside from Jimenez, who couldn't get into the ball. Legault can't get into the pack either. She's on the outside. When she does, the whistle had already been blown by umpire Di Filan and says that is a free kick for Colombia. They'll have it on their half-back flank. 30 seconds remaining in the second term.
Yeah, playing out the final minute here in this quarter as the ball will come to Colombian hands as the pressure relieved a little bit here for Team Colombia. And I don't know, they probably don't know how much time is left exactly, but they might have time for one more trip up the field. Not based on that kick, though, as it's Hussein with the ball for Canada, marching forward as the ball will be dribbling towards the goal square. We've got a contest there, as after it there was Caroline Leduc for Canada. She's got the football, centering kick, good pressure by Colombia. Nice smother, sees the ball go out of play as we're waiting for that three-quarter time whistle. And again, we see more of that Colombian pressure, but it is ultimately Canada up 10-10, 70. Colombia 1-0, 6 on the Payable app scoreboard as we are through three quarters of football here in Toronto.
So as we look at the three-quarter time goal kickers, we've got it unofficially as Lochner is 3, 2 to Helinski, 2 to Leduc, singles to Hussein, Legault, done. Now we've been talking about the Colombians, who's only goal kicker so far, Lady Calderon, but let's talk about the Canada Northern Lights. As we said, we want to look to the future for them and any 49th Parallel Cup or Tri-Series, International Cup, future Transatlantic Cups, whatever's coming forward. What do we need to see out of Canada in this last quarter? The game's obviously been won. They lead by 64 points. Colombia's not going to pull that back in a quarter time. So what do we do in the last 17.5 minutes if you're the coach, if you're Tricia Rolfe right now in front of the charges of the Canada Northern Lights?
Well, I want to stay composed for one thing because that did appear to be an issue for a little bit there in the third quarter. You want to see some strong play for the young Canadian players in this team, see the creativity because we had talked about the Legos maybe having a swan song. So, you're bringing in the new young talent that's going to lead the way for Team Canada. And you like to see some of those players kind of take the game by the horns here in the fourth quarter.
Well, I agree with you on that point of view. I mean, when I look at it, when we talk about the youngest player from AFL Nova Scotia, Lacey Bellefontaine, my opinion is you throw on the ball. Mabel Dunn, I'd even throw Mabel Dunn in the ruck at the moment. Get her hands on the football a little bit more. All your young players, we've already got it with Abby Clark, of course, international debut, 27 years old. She's been doing the rucking. Anyone that is in their early to mid-20s that realistically have, at minimum, should they stay with the game, of course, 10 years of international football ahead of them. Just hands on the ball, a lot more game time, a lot more what you call intellectual property to take forward for Team Canada.
Yeah, for sure. And every possession is important. It's all development and it's all moving forward. These are very meaningful games, regardless of whether placement in the tournament has been decided. Every game is important. And we look to see the Canadians finish strong. As I said, Colombia was doing a little bit of a better job of pressuring them, and we'll see how Canada responds here in the fourth quarter.
At three-quarter time, it's Canada 10-10-70, leading Colombia 1-6. You're watching the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup, thanks to Payable Apps.
Australian football is in Canada. Fast. Tough. Spectacular. Fun. Join AFL Canada. Visit aflcanada.com.
Footy fans, you need to know about AFL Canada Shop. AFL Canada Shop has great items, whether you are a player, a coach, an umpire, a fan of Team Canada, or helping to grow this great game. Plus, AFL Canada Shop sells the highest quality Australian footballs at the best price anywhere. And we ship everywhere in the footy world. So visit AFL Canada Shop today at aflcanadashop.ca.
Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider. Share and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
And welcome back to Colonel Samuel Smith Park in Toronto, Canada. This is the final quarter of Canada versus Colombia, the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup. Here is Patrick McNeil.
Yeah, final quarter for both of these teams that want to finish strong, as we were talking about at quarter time. Every minute of play is important, valuable. These players don't get a lot of opportunity to play internationally, so they're treasuring every moment. Easy for me to say as Guyara moving it forward for the Canadians. 4:50 entry early for Canada as they are kicking towards the visitmississauga.ca, and you absolutely should visit Mississauga as the ball is pushed along the left side and it squirts out, and no, squirts still in. We apologize for technical issues. Oh, our pitcher is back, so you can see the handball option executed by Team Canada here as the ball will come along the ground, and battling for it is... It looked like that was Hussein, and the ball will come back to Colombian hands here. Congestion in the contest again. It's 4:50 entry here for Canada early on, and it'll come back out to Colombia. It's kicked along the ground. Canada just bringing numbers in waves. Red jumpers everywhere as Dunn goes out the back. That's a boot for Canadian player Gaillard. Goal square mark, and that is once again Marlena Holinsky setting up. That's been her office today, Peter Holden.
Absolutely, she's owned it, and looks like she's going to come in now on a 45-degree angle, about 15 metres out, and that was always going to be easy for her. Marlena Holinsky has 3 goals for the tournament and extends Canada's lead to 11-10, 76. Colombia 1 straight 6, and of course Marlena Holinsky out of the Burnaby Eagles, of course her hometown of Vancouver, British Columbia. She played the 2023 Parallel Cup and also played in the 27 London series when the Canada development team, the Midnight Suns, travelled over.
Yeah, going back a little bit with that one, but the international footy has been ongoing, intercontinental footy in some cases, of course. That's good to see as well. And Marlena Holinsky certainly accounting well for herself. Of course, all those goals make her a contender for the Powerwood Game MVP. Powerwood have donated hand-carved trophies for each Game MVP. Their custom cedar supplies done right, based in Western Canada. Visit powerwood.com for more information. Ball on the ground here. Battle between Canada and Colombia, of course, in this fourth quarter. Trying to pick it up off the ground. Looked like Hannah Gerard was involved in that contest around the 50-meter arc. And the tackling is aplenty here. I don't think there was much in the way of prior opportunity. That ball should go the way of the umpire as the Canadian player, I think that was Gerard in the contest, was just trying to shake that off. Rucks will get nominated and we'll get back underway here with the game as the tip is going to be won by Team Canada as Robertson gets her hand on the ball. Option executed, kick towards the goal square. Ball will go dribbling, and that is going to stay in play, at least for now, as Holinsky was trying to save it, and she just did. Looking for the turn and fire. Handball to the goal square. Not able to find Canadian hands, and the Colombian pressure's there again. Robertson's got it. She's taken it ground quickly, and the umpire adjudicates here as we are past the 3-minute mark, and that will lead to, I don't think it was holding the ball. It's going to be Colombia getting a free kick, it looks like.
And they'll have it deep in defence at the visitmississauga.ca end of the ground with hundreds of must-see experiences, plenty of gorgeous scenery, world-class eats and events. Mississauga was ours to explore over the many previous days and yours to explore as well. Visit mississauga.ca as the kick is long towards the halfback flank position as Patrick McNeil's notes go flying everywhere. A mark taken by the Colombians by Lady Calderon. Lady Calderon kicks in towards the middle of the ground, but it was easily picked off by the Canadians in the end. I think it might be Patricio with the football who wants to try and come towards the their live broadcast side of the ground. Mark being taken there by Isabel Senecol. Senecol now gets on the right boot. Here comes Amy Legault. Can't get there in time, but enough time to affect the spoil instead of taking the mark there up against Laura Garcia. The ball spills out towards centre wing. Is it in the back? Umpire Di Filan right on the spot says you've given that one away. And once again, Isabel Senecol delivers inside 50 to Caroline Leduc.
Beautiful mark by Caroline Leduc, and she will center that. Looks like that might go for goal. No, it's going to be a goal square kick. Looking for the mark, Lacey Bellefontaine of the Sydney Giants. One of our player to watch. She talked about taking her chance to kick goal. She's got the opportunity to do it. Youngest player on Team Canada. What does Lacey have in store? Could be a big moment for her. Backs up. Taking the free kick in focus, boots it up. That's high. That is good. Hello, Sydney. Hello, Cape Breton. Sydney Giants on the board. Goal for Lacey Bellefontaine, youngest on Team Canada, being mobbed by her teammates. They know that is a special moment for her. What a transition it's been for that young woman coming from the world of rugby at St. Mary's University, and now has a goal. Look, she's being congratulated by the Colombian players. Well done, Lacey Bellefontaine. Canada on the board, 12-10-82, 1-0 Colombia, 6 Canadians, with a nice start to this fourth quarter.
I want to see that on CBC Nova Scotia. I want to see that on CBC Nova Scotia. It's got to be on the news. Fantastic there for Lacey Bellefontaine. And hopefully, as I said, a little spark by her playing football, the Sydney Giants. We can grow the women's program there at AFL Nova Scotia. You grow the women's program there and at other clubs. It helps strengthen the Canada Northern Lights team. As the ball is now in the middle of the ground here for Canada, they'll go quickly to Nicole Robertson, who takes a mark. Robertson swings around on the right boot, almost brings down Rain with a kick. Good mark taken. And once again, it is in the hands of Lacey Bellefontaine. A long way out this time. She is about 45 metres out from goal. Elects to go with a pass to top of the goal square. Just went through the hands there of Holinsky. Waiting at the back. One-step kick for Huerquez for Colombia. Goes for a shorter pass, and this time manages to spot up. Looks like Gutierrez who has it. And she's just going to slow things down here for Colombia. Gets on the right boot. Wants to come inboard with the kick. It's going to be intercepted. Sending it back from whence it came is going to be the 13 of Mabel Dunn. Does well. Mark taken 20 metres out on a slight angle for Nicole Robertson.
Yeah, Canada doing a great job leading in the goal square there. Now Robertson has an opportunity here. Nice makeable distance for her as she backs up. I'm going to guess about 30 meters here. And looking for the lucky 13 major score for Team Canada is Nicole Robertson. Comes off the boot. Doesn't look too bad. It's up. And that is going to end up being a minor score. Canada goes to 12-11-83, 1-0 Colombia, 6 on the Payable app scoreboard.
And we've got about 10.5 minutes remaining in the tournament for both Canada and Colombia. Don't forget, coming up at 11:45 a.m. tomorrow, that's local time in Toronto, we have Ireland versus the USA in the women's grand final for the Women's Transatlantic Championship. Ball on the ground, going in there. Garcia, umpire says in the back, and it's going the way of her teammate. Benavidez will now take it, and she'll have it on the halfback flank. Also coming up today, still on the string, we have at 1:30 p.m. local time, Colombia versus the Canada North Wind in the men's side of the draw. Another consolation match. Going short there to Valentina Rodriguez, who may have done her ankle. She's feeling around her right foot there. Keep an eye on that as injury watch. Close towards the boundary line. It did come off hands. Managing to keep it in play though, Abby Clark. Clark goes towards the half-forward flank position. Caroline Leduc lurking nearby. Ball dangerously close towards the boundary line. Still managing to stay in somehow. It's in by about half a metre. Nicole Robertson is there trying to scrap it out. Umpire allowing the play to go on. Mabel Dunn is there. She gets brought to ground. Ball, they cry. And the umpire has blown the whistle and says a free kick going the way of Colombia.
Colombia free kick deep in the defensive pocket as we've played 7 minutes plus here, 8 minutes plus here in this fourth quarter of play. Ball goes dribbling around. Baker will handball it across as the Colombian pressure is there again, but Canada will break out as Kleinbulb. Handball looking for Dunn. Contest is there, and the ball forced out of play as that was Gabrielle Bureau of the Quebec Saints that was hearing footsteps here, and that will lead to a boundary throw in here. 50-50 contest incoming with a little under 9 minutes left on our unofficial game clock as it's tapped. Great work there by the ruckwoman Abby Clark for Canada. And the physicality ramping up here in this fourth quarter of play. That is going to be a free kick as Clark says, that football is mine. What is she going to do with it? And she'll boot it out towards the goal. Nice lead there by Team Canada. No mark to be had, though. Bellefontaine's in the contest as well. She'll handball it across, but it is going to be Colombian hands picking it up. And again, we've got a tie-up, and didn't look like there was much in the way of opportunity there. And that leads to the umpire picking up the ball for himself.
So he'll throw it up inside 50, probably about 40 metres out from the Canada goal, going to the Visit Mississauga.ca end of the ground. Just getting the squeeze hand pass out there to Pavida. In traffic. Oh, she could be run down there by Hussein. Just manages to get rid of the football in the nick of time. Going in there as well was Valentina Rodriguez. Benavides now into Richardson, who tried to hurriedly put it on the boot. Ball still on the ground, looking for clean hands. Getting in there is Gaillard. Had to go backwards to go forwards. The kick inside 50. Over the head there of Legault. We've got a Canadian player coming off the ground. Keep an eye on that as Nicole Robertson has a shot at goal. And it's right across the face, out of bounds on the full. And I think it might have been Filsit Hussein that has come off. And they're worried about her left leg.
Yeah, not good to see. And obviously, it's been a long week of football, and you're looking, you're in your last game, and at this point, you're thinking you want to finish strong, but you just want to come out of it healthy, and it just would kind of be a real bummer to suffer any sort of serious injury. And of course, even if she is good to go, they might just keep her off for a precautionary measure. Just to got to give her a little bit of time to rest there as the game continues. That is a free kick deep in the defensive zone for Colombia, and that was a resulting, boy, easy for me to say tongue-tied, Peter, at the end of this game, and that is going to lead to a free kick for Team Canada. Elena Richardson, after the tackle, will have an opportunity from about 50 meters out. She'll back it up. It'll come back deep into the pocket. Hands are up, nicely marked there. That is Nicole Robertson becoming a factor in this game in the left pocket for Team Canada. She'll back up. She's got a chance to kick a goal.
So Robertson on the 45-degree angle. Player on the mark is about 17.5 metres out. She's on a very long run-up. In she comes, and no problems whatsoever. Nicole Robertson has her first of the day, and Canada go to 13-11-89, leading Colombia 1-6 on the Payable apps scoreboard. I know you'll be thinking about the Powerwood MVP that you give at the end of the day, but we should mention tomorrow with the two grand finals, the men's and women's, the men's and women's finals MVP, thanks to Bloodstone Canada and Tin Shack, an Australian legend that has travelled all the way to Canada, bloodstone.ca. Those some quality Bloodstone boots.
Yeah, looking forward to that tomorrow for sure. Who will be the hero we get to Grand Final Sunday? But we've got some good football being played here as well. Team Canada in their final game. And I mentioned earlier, just due to the format, the Canadians get to play every opposition historic game. This, we could look down the road if footy grows in South America, that this would be the first ever historic meeting between Canada and Colombia. And hopefully it becomes a good rivalry as the years go on. Ball is booted into the forward 54. Team Canada, it's on the ground now, as pressure is there by Lacey Bellefontaine. She's going to earn the football for her team. Kick from free play. I think that was Legault firing it through, and Robertson looked like she was trying to avoid touching it. She succeeded. That should be a goal to Amy Legault. I do believe she's being mobbed by her teammates. That's a special one for her, Peter.
All hail the Queen! All hail the Queen!
Yeah, tremendous play from Amy Legault, and we don't know if her and Margot in their international swan song, but giving us more great moments if that is in fact the case here in this fourth quarter.
That's Amy Legault's second for the game, and they now lead by 89 points here. Doing it easy now, Canada, with just under 5 minutes to play. Umpire Di Filan with the ball back in the middle of the ground, and will throw it high in the air, and will go once again. One out this time in the ruck by Amanda Smith, who manages to gain some ground out towards the half-forward flank Lake Ontario side of the ground. And umpire blows the whistle and says it's all locked up. We'll call for a ball up. As we said, after this, we've got Colombia and Canada in the men's. That's being streamed, and games not being streamed after 3:30 include Canada-USA men's reserves matches, a development game, and AFL Ontario versus AFL Quebec in the women's with a few ring-ins. So if you want to come on down to Colonel Samuel Smith Park, please do so. We've got the taco truck here as well, so you can grab a bite to eat and catch some more Aussie footy. That's kind of attached to, but not officially a part of the AFL Transatlantic Cup. Navita is trying to get in there. Ball kicked along the ground. Garcia gets pulled to ground, maybe in the back, and or was it holding the football? Holding the football, judged by the ump. No, definitely in the back. I was right the first time around. Always listen to Peter.
Never doubt yourself, Peter Holden. Again, looking forward to those development games. Had a good chance to chat with Trey, who plays in North Carolina with the Tigers, and one of the young up-and-comers on the American side. He's looking forward to the development game, and I know a lot of players, like a player like Sandy Warren from the City Giants, a bit older, but he's going to have the opportunity to play internationally and maybe bring that experience back to his club team. So there'll certainly be some intriguing stories
50-meter penalty as well to Colombia.
Yeah, Colombia with an opportunity here. They'd love to get another major score here as we have about 3:12 left in this, and it's a decision to play on off the 50-meter penalty. There's a handball option executed. Looking to go out the back, perhaps. No, goes forward. Ball up in the air. Where's it going to go? It's going to be intercept marked by Team Canada here as the Canadians, with 3 minutes to go in this fourth quarter of this tournament, which has been a good one for Canada. Mark is completed by Mabel Dunn, who had a goal herself earlier here. And nice chain being established here with these kicks by the Canadians. Ball will come out towards the quarter. This one's on the ground, and it is going to be Kleinbulb looking for it. Handball option executed across to her teammate, Senecal, and the ball is booted forward. Hands are up for Colombia, and we are just about 2.5 to go. It's going to be a free kick here for Colombia in the defensive 50 in the dying part of this fourth quarter.
And also for Canada, can I give a shout out to Hilary Perry? Now, Hilary was for a number of years in charge of the Canada Northern Lights program. As she was a former player, she was meant to lead as coach Canada to what was going to be the 2020 AFL International Cup in Maroochydore. But of course, as we understand, COVID happened, the world happened, and she stepped down from being a head coach a couple of years ago and obviously handed over the reins to Tricia Rolfe. So, Hilary Perry, thank you for all the work that you did for Canada to prepare them over those years in between.
Yes, the 2020 IC that was not as free kick there by Lacey Bellefontaine finds an option, and that is going to be Jen Minchin, who's had some of the ball in that forward line for Canada. She's got an opportunity here, backs up, and this might be a good opportunity here for her to find her name on the goal scoring sheet. Ball goes up, and that's through the middle sticks. That's a goal for Canada, and that is the century mark crossed for Team Canada. Minchin makes it 15-11, 101-106 for Colombia. Canada leading on the Payable app scoreboard.
And, of course, we thank the eThere Live production team for all their work. You can check them out at etherelive.com if you've got a sporting event coming up that you want covered. eThere Live can do it for you. And I've been very impressed by the professionalism that eThere Live have done as we've ramped up from 1 camera to 2 cameras. We've had boundary riders. We'll have boundary riders again tomorrow. Certainly, in North America, the most impressive Aussie Rules production that I've been involved with.
Yeah, it's really been tremendous, and there's been a number of people who've come up during the week and have had nice comments about our work, but a lot of the time they're commenting on the broadcast, and we've been very happy to pass along those words because the eThere Live staff has knocked it out of the park this week. There's a free kick for Amy Legault for Canada. She'll kick it out and finds a mark. Boy, beautiful football to watch here the last few minutes by the Canadians as that is going to be locked in. She'll go for a little run, and Bellefontaine plays on. Free kick for goal. Lacey Bellefontaine does it again. Talking about the Canadians getting the young players involved. Lacey Bellefontaine's having herself a fourth quarter, letting my Sydney Giants colors show through here. Beautiful job, Lacey. Team Canada, again, another major score, 16-11, 107-106 for Colombia. Beautiful football there by Canada the last few minutes.
Fantastic to see Lacey Bellefontaine, again, the youngest player on AFL Team Canada, 21 years old, out of Albert Bridge, Nova Scotia, as the siren sounds to conclude the tournament for the Canada Northern Lights and the Colombian Jaguares women's team. In the end, a comprehensive victory for Canada, 16-11, 107 to Colombia, 1 straight 6.
Yeah, great fourth quarter for Canada. We talked that we were impressed that Colombia was able to bring some more of the pressure in the third quarter. A good response by Canada. And it was almost like they were listening to us, Peter, talking about getting the young players involved. Of course, it was great to see Amy Legault involved in the scoring as well. But nice to see the young faces for Canada. They'll be very happy. You want to finish the tournament on a good note. They've played good football, and then they end up finishing in the win column here. And as I said, exciting to see these teams play for the first time. They share the same hemisphere, and now they've had their first of many, hopefully, many international meetings.
And their highest score as well, 6-1-0 for that quarter, so they really did finish strong. Canada, of course, a tiring tournament in the end. We were playing one player short, Colombia, across the tournament. You could bring 28 players as a squad. They brought 27 players. But again, I've said many new to the game as well for Colombia. They had the opportunity to play the US as Bogota Bulldogs, a US invitational team back in 2018. So it's been a long time since they've been able to build together. They're slowly expanding their program there with teams in Medellin and Bogota. They're looking to expand to other cities, and hopefully this can only grow the Colombian women's program. I know they've certainly got the most fancy tops in the tournament. Everyone wants a Colombian shirt or polo because they love the design. They love the enthusiasm that Colombia brought to this tournament. As I said, they've got a little bit to go to still catch up. 2 wins over France, so they've got that under their belt.
Absolutely, and you can ask Brian Bank Stop. The money is in the wallet, ready to be forked out for some Colombian merchandise. A good-looking team, and lots for them to be happy with. They've just had a lot of fun this weekend. It was great to see.
And my hat off as well to former Sydney AFL footballer Josh Kennedy, who has helped behind the scenes to try and really get this AFL Colombia program up and assisted the coaches, including Ian Guzman-Smith and many others. Travis Crockett as well, who's been involved with the Bogota Bulldogs. A lot of them, obviously Orica jumping on board and sponsoring them, which helped in a very big way to make this possible for Colombia, the women and the men, which will be coming up soon, to participate in this tournament. And for Canada, obviously all their sponsors, True Blue Swim, which you can see on the back, and all the people, as we said, when we mentioned Hillary Perry helping in the in-between years, Jason Arnold before that, when they played in international cups, Trisha Rolfe now taking over the program, and all those other players that used to play for the Northern Lights to help set a high standard team. As they said, it hurt a little bit. They were 1 point away from going to extra time against the USA and trying to get to the grand final. So it wasn't the way that they wanted to end. But as we said, they got a number of players involved and on the ball in that final game. So a lot of positives to take away. As we said, Lacey Biofontaine, the youngest player on the side, she's got 2 goals. A lot of rucking there for Abby Clark. That's good for the future. 3 goals to Helinski, 3 to Lochnan, also 2 to Caroline Leduc and the legend Amy Legault. I really do hope it's not the last time I see her playing football, but there's kind of the hint of she's done, and same with Margot Legault, because they've been, such an integral part to the game. I know we keep talking them up a lot, but they have been. Mabel Dunn getting a goal. Filson Hussein, who came off injured. Let's hope it's not going to hamper the after-party atmosphere for her. Jen mentioned as well. But it's been a privilege calling these 2 teams in the tournament. And as I said, yes, the scoreboard shows a little different, 16-11, 107 to 1 straight 6. It shows a big margin, but it was a good, fierce contest, and it was a positive step forward once again for women's football.
Absolutely, 100% agree. But we do have one other piece of business here, Peter. We do have to attend to today's Powerwood Game MVP.
Yes, custom city supply is done right. City supply is based in Western Canada, powerwood.com. I'm going to land it on your shoulders, Patrick McNeil. Who, for the Canada Northern Lights, gets the nod?
Well, there were a lot of impressive performances. Maybe there's some sentimentality here to this one, but I don't think there's many women you could pick. It wouldn't be a wrong selection, but I think it is August 10th, so why not number 10, Amy Legault.
That's a little bit of brown-nosing there. Come on, Patrick.
Oh, well, I think she's earned it with her impressive performance today. Again, there was a lot of strong play on the part of all of Team Canada.
I had nothing to do to persuade with that judgment.
But again, there could have been a number of candidates, but certainly we talk about the young players, and it helps to have the veteran leadership. So we will go with Amy Legault as today's Powerwood MVP.
Well, thank you very much, Patrick McNeil. You'll obviously be sticking around with David Smith coming up at 1:30 p.m. local time for Colombia versus Canada in the men's side of the tournament for that consolation match. But as we said, for those that follow the women's side of the game, 11:45 a.m. Toronto time tomorrow, the grand final between the Island Banshees and the USA Freedom. Thank you very much, Patrick McNeil. I'm Peter Holden. Look forward to your company next time around. You're watching the 2024 AFL Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps.